Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. This is Dr. T, PhD, the prodigy of sports psychology. And as you can see, it's definitely dark outside. And you're probably wondering it's either because it's morning or it's night, because either the sun has set or has not come up yet. And just to let you know, it is early in the morning as I record this. I'm on my way to my first client, but before I train that person, I thought I'd take a little break here, pull off the side of the road, and interview one of my very favorite guests right here on GoTarryn TV. I'll tell you who it is in just a moment. But first, I'd like to ask you if you'd please be so kind as to like this video, leave us a comment, and share it with all of your friends and family out there. Now today we're going to have a favorite recurring guest who we always have here on the show. We always have a wonderful time interviewing him, and it's going to be Billy from Bump It Up. That's right, the Bump It Up experiment. He's going to talk about that and tell us what's been going on in the last month since we last chatted with him, and also touch on some key principles of exercise and diet, some of the things that people can certainly learn from. And I'm going to pick his brain a little bit and try to delve into his perspective of what works with him from his viewpoint. So I think that'll really help us out here and just maybe give us some just general basic principles and guidance from somebody who's in very good shape and somebody who lives an excellent healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to have Billy on here in just a few moments to help us out with that. And before he joins us, I'd like to remind everyone out there that GoTarryn Health and Fitness is your time, your investment in your life. We'll be right back in a second. How are you doing out there today?
I'm good. How are you, Taryn?
Good. Thank you. And I know that where we're recording right now, it's kind of dark outside, but where you're at, it looks nice and bright. Obviously, you're indoors. I'm outside. And so how have you been since we last chatted, and how's this last month been for you?
Been a busy month. They all seem to be flying by. More and more people getting out. Unfortunately, we've got more of the variant going on. So I'm personally just still staying in a mask when I'm out and about, trying to stay healthy. And unfortunately, lots of friends haven't been staying as well, but they're hanging in there. But I hope everybody's just trying to stay safe and doing their best.
Yeah, that's a good point, Billy. Like, do you know anyone recently? You just mentioned you had some friends who are kind of just, still going out and about. But do you know anyone who's gotten sick and contracted it in the last, say, a couple of weeks or so?
Aaron, I probably know, I'd say 12 to 15 people
Oh,
who
wow.
have tested positive and to various degrees have gotten sick. It seems odd. I know more people in the past 2 weeks that have gotten it than prior to the entire past 2 years. It's just been uncanny. You think we're out of the woods, and every time we turn around, somebody's telling us friends are needing to cancel something or clients needing to cancel something because they've tested positive. Fortunately, probably about half of those people have had very, very mild symptoms. But unfortunately, the other half have had symptoms that, of course, they haven't had to go to the hospital, but because of gastrointestinal issues, which were severe, they've been sick for several days.
I'm sorry to hear that. Actually, I recall, Billy, that last month when we were chatting, it was because I think that there was a family that I believe you knew very closely that had canceled at the last second because all of them were testing positive, right?
The entire family. I will tell you this, though, the irony that I find a common thread amongst the people who are getting sick is the vast majority had gone away on vacation,
Uh-huh.
come back home and ended up sick, or a couple of the people had attended conferences and they were not masked. They were vaccinated, but not masked. And, once again, you got to be careful when you're in large groups.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like you said, we are not kind of like out of the woods yet. I think everybody's ready for us to get past this, but it looks like it's here to stay with us, doesn't it?
It does. Unfortunately, it does. As long as it continues to mutate and we continue this last variant seems to really be, as they say, extremely, extremely contagious for many people.
Wow, interesting. And you definitely look like you've improved and feeling much better and looking in much better shape. As you've gotten well as well too. How have you been feeling in the last month?
Feel absolutely great. Back to 100%.
100%. Oh, that's great. That's excellent. So, how have your workout and exercise schedule been? Would you say?
I'd say exercise is key for me. Without exercise, I need that regular regimen to keep me functioning. I think it helps me in all areas of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I have noticed, though, it's been nice for me, but going to the gym, I've noticed fewer people
Yeah.
have than they have in the past. I don't know if it's because of summer vacations or what, but yeah. But I will say this about my gym. We actually have at my gym, we're at about it's like 98 or 99% fully vaccinated,
Oh, wow.
um, which makes it really, really nice. If you aren't vaccinated, then you're required to wear a mask.
Oh, okay.
So at least we feel uh, as safe. You give yourself the tools to succeed. Then it's up to us to be successful. So our gym's done everything to help us succeed, so that we can work out in a
Hmm.
safe environment. Um, so that's been good.
Yeah, that's great. That's very, very good. So, Billy, with your workouts, I guess we've chatted briefly about them before, but what does a typical workout look like for you when you get to the gym? I guess kind of walk us through, please, of what works for you and what you prefer in your exercise routine.
Well, like many typical men, when we're young, we want muscles because
Mhm.
we're young. As I
Mhm.
get older, more about strength and conditioning.
Mm.
At 3, I don't think I'm going to be Mr. Atlas. So my thing is making sure mobility is incredibly important.
Yeah.
Um, so the cardio is important to me. So I always begin my workouts with basically 30 minutes of cardio. I try to do cardio 3 to 4 times a week. Actually, I do cardio 3 or 4 times a week, and then I lift weights for anywhere from 45 to minutes to an hour.
Mm.
I used to go for heavier weights. Now I go for lighter weights and more repetitions, so that I just maintain. I will say this: people will say, I always say, I don't believe in luck or coincidence. I just believe in blessings. But I said. I've maintained since college. I'm within 10 pounds of what I weighed in college.
Oh, wow.
4 years ago.
Wow.
Um, Usually, as we age, just by the aging process and lack of exercise and poor eating habits, we put on lots of weight, regardless of who we are. And I always tell people you need to invest in yourself because you're your own best investment. So you
Yeah.
got time for yourself. And even I fall victim sometimes to getting into the rat race of doing so much. And if you're not running um, at your body's optimum, then you're going to fall short in all areas of your life. And I can tell that um, when I don't get to the gym.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's true. I'm with you on that, Billy. When I don't make it to the gym or I don't do any type of exercise in a day, I get so stressed out and I just don't feel as well. But on the flip end, when you do burn those calories and those endorphins are built up and you burn that stress, I think both physiologically and psychologically, you just are just feeling so much better. There's no question about it. Um, and with your exercise routine in conjunction, you touched on a little bit. How about your nutritional habits? Can you kind of walk us through, Billy, like what works for you and what you find best in terms of your eating regimen?
Terry, there are two things I tried to apply. And one was that I learned at a very one of our courses. I was a speech communications and physical education major, and we were talking about nutrition. I still caught on from the teacher that said, like most of us eat full and not until we're hungry.
Mhm.
Um, the secret to me has been trying to reach that of, oh, I'm not hungry anymore, instead
Mhm.
of eating until I'm so full, I just can't eat anymore.
Yeah.
So that has helped me greatly. Now, sometimes, especially if I'm eating something I was restaurant too much, um, and eat full going to bed. You don't want to have a full stomach when you're going to bed. So I try not to eat myself past about 8 o'clock.
Hmm.
And the older I've gotten, the more I've paid attention to this is, Taryn, I've been cutting out as much sugar as possible. I like sweets. I'll have a piece of cake once a week.
Mm.
Um, but sugar is the biggest thing that ages us. And Americans, we eat so much more sugar than most cultures. Processed foods. And when we say sugar, we always think that many times it's sweets, but it can also be, your breads,
Hmm.
pasta, anything that's carbohydrates going to convert. And we just have a process. They always say, I've always heard this about you eat when around the grocery store, the perimeter,
Hmm.
because all in the center of the grocery store are all these boxes of food.
Yeah.
And all these boxes of food are highly processed.
That's true. I mean,
I
that,
heard,
that
I heard someone talk many times with fast food, McDonald's, say first thing in the morning, and then you grab something from Wendy's for lunch, and then
mm,
at dinner you're picking up something, pizza. So the
oh,
entire day you have revved your system up, continually working at its highest, and the
yeah.
body never gets a chance to just feel normal because you have so much processed food in your body. It was no wonder we have so much type 2 diabetes,
Yeah.
high blood pressure, all kinds of ailments, simply because of the foods are the biggest killer. I listen to so many podcasts that do talk about that. We have the
Mm.
medicine um, available to us, and that is through our eating habits.
Yeah, and like you touched on too, Billy, definitely agree. It's the American culture that, you go to every corner at any intersection at any given time, and it is all fast food, and your options are very limited if you're going to try to eat healthy. I mean, even the salads at some of these fast food restaurants are a joke, it's quite, I find it difficult because I travel a lot and very challenging to find anything that's healthy in terms of options for grabbing a quick bite. But I think that's probably part of the problem in that in our culture, everyone's so fast paced and everyone's always in a rush and on the go. And I can definitely relate to that. I get that, but it's hard, and especially for people who, on top of that, aren't exercising and burning it off. So you got a double whammy there, so to speak, for those people who are continuing to become, prevalent to things like you were just saying, like type 2 diabetes, overweight, obese. I mean, everything is just really hitting our country pretty hard. I think latest study from CDC, in fact, says that now obesity is climbing to about 42% in the entire population of the United States.
Or because maybe they might be on their games, their phones, whatever it is that they're doing, that they're not engaged in the physical activity that they used to be, much less adults. And
Hmm.
just a lot of times, and you don't have to go to a gym to walk.
Right.
There's so many things that you can do just to engage yourself and your family.
Yeah.
It's just taking, because if you don't prioritize, it catches up with you as you get older. And unfortunately, many times, finding that it's catching up to us when we're really young.
Yeah, that's very true too, because COVID, if anything, taught us a lesson that here in Atlanta, at least, all the gyms that I knew of were closed for several months from, say, March to June of 2020. And in that time, it was definitely an adjustment for people to figure out, okay, well, I can't go to a gym. And I think that's part of the reason why, you mentioned earlier, we're not seeing the people return coming back from the gym. And I think a lot of people probably won't because of reasons of, they've probably found more effective workouts on their own, like such as walking outside or doing outdoor workouts or what have you. So that's a good point. There's no excuse, really. There is no excuse for people not to be able to get their workouts in, because some of the best exercises are outdoors. I mean, I know we talked about that before, but it's very true.
Also, people have is in addressing COVID is that people have not addressed the issue that we can do things to help offset it by simply staying in shape and eating. That is true. That we don't hear enough about unfortunately, many people who are affected by it are people who are immunocompromised,
Mm,
overweight. Um, there is something you can do. And, I want to stress too, when we talk about being overweight, that doesn't mean you have to be the perfect body type or whatever. Being the best that you can be.
mm-hmm,
We come in different sizes and we're healthy at different sizes, but there's a difference when you're not exercising, that you do become less active and mobile,
mm-hmm,
sedentary, and your body just is not allowed to function at its optimal. I always tell people drink water, drink water, drink water. Water
mm-hmm.
runs all the systems of your body. That's a simple thing that most of us don't do because many people, it always cracks me up driving early in the morning and I see people with sodas in their hands.
Mm,
Many people start their day off with a cup of coffee or two or three.
mm-hmm,
Um, I start off by drinking water very first thing in the morning,
mm, mm.
always first. But people just have so much going on in their lives right now that talk about gyms plus finances. A lot of people I think haven't returned to gyms simply because um, the economy, when you just don't have the money. That's why you find alternate things to do because in with gas, food, everything rising, paying 30 bucks a month actually makes a difference to them. Gas and your payment or however you pay. I mean, there's so many things going on right now that stress
Mm.
people, which stress contributes to overeating.
Yeah.
You know, People just have it tough. I always say, you know, you always take time to do something nice for somebody. It's going to make you feel good from the inside out, and it'll definitely bring your stress.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point, Billy. Well, let me ask you this, kind of going on that subject there. Speaking of doing stuff nice for somebody or just being, nice in general, you're always so great in sharing with us some really nice stories here on the podcast. So, what's a new story that's, I know, again, every week it seems like you've got a new one, but maybe share, if you don't mind, one or two with us here since we last talked, since last month.
Sometimes I jokingly say I need to not go out because it seems like people in need always seem to put in my direction, and I always do my best to try to help. Um, Sunday, I was in Walmart, and I have not used a checker in years through the self checkout. But I'm passing by and I see this, and oh my gosh, I've got quite a few items. I'm going to actually use the checker today. So I greeted my checker, and she was finishing up with book. She wrote what? And she lived a little bit of ways from the Walmart that I was at. Said, I've got you. And the woman said, well, I can cash app you or will pay you or whatever. And I said, I have Venmo, so you can Venmo me in a minute if you want to. And she said, fine. So I said, let me check out. I said, while I'm checking out, Google the bump experiment. She goes, what? I said, just Google the bump experiment. She said, where it's, if you're ever in the position to do something for someone without expecting anything in return,
Mm-hmm.
said, I just bumped you. I said, I got you covered completely. Don't worry about paying me back. Her bill was $60-some.
Oh,
She happened to have a inexpensive coffee maker, and I said, just the night to buy coffee every morning. But this woman was overwhelmed and teared up because she couldn't
mm,
believe a stranger just covered $60-some. Well,
yeah.
the best part of the story, Taryn, is forget me, forget the woman that I just picked her up. I my things into my cart. The woman said much kindness. You know, like the younger generation that is that we're not teaching to them, or just about it all now, just about a time. Let front you hello somebody, your hello that person get all day long to people. We don't talk to one another. We don't have to agree or approve of everything, but everybody deserves kindness, respect, and equality. And that has nothing to do with our political, religious, social status. It's just a general rule. Just being kind to one another. I was going myself, there to be a woman looking to a senior citizen, and she's probably 67. She was hit the oils that they've gone. Well, but she said, I'll just get one. My home Schriltz card came to this woman. She so it card that she thought she did. She goes, her was with her, but I always leave my bump it up card that has that mission statement if you do something. Her daughter looked it up, and her daughter texted me, and she goes, "You have no idea how much mom
Hmm.
bring a little by just doing something." And all the people, they say, "I don't have much money. I don't have much time." It's not about the time or the dollar amount. What you do for somebody, regardless of what it is, might be the very thing that that person needs.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, there's people out on the road, and even right now, I'm seeing people standing out, with their cardboard things with their words written on it, and people go, "Well, what? They're just trying to hustle you." And I said, "Trust me, there might be one or two people out there hustling other people
Mm-hmm.
back. However, most of these people, they are just flat out struggling. Many are homeless. I see more homeless people around than I've ever seen in my life
Yeah.
at the present time.
Yeah.
Homelessness,
Yeah, you're right.
I was going to say, the homelessness and mental illness, many of these people you can tell are struggling people walking along, and you can just tell they are struggling mentally. And we really
Mm.
don't have the capability right now to. I don't know all the work on mental population affect whole chains. So we've got to keep within that chain. And this where just thing, whatever it is, just I know a lot of times to just that's uh, I think in law really right now we're about to the world locally. When you do something, uh, somebody, it truly proves the quality, the joy of someone else. Again, you know,
Yeah, that's a good point, Billy. I mean, again, and it makes the world a greater place, and good karma, good energy all around, and all of that is just what definitely helps, especially right now, the time that everyone's going through. But I have to commend you, Billy, again, just with everything you're doing and with the bump experiment. But as we're getting towards the end here, let's go ahead and please. I know you said how we can Google search it, but why don't we give the website and any other contact information you want to provide before we close out here?
you can Google the bump experiment. I'm also on Instagram, Bump It Up Guy, and the Bump Experiment as well. And you can find me on Twitter. We stay pretty engaged with the community. But always tell people you have to decide to do something. Just take the initiative, and there's opportunity galore, just all around. So many times I always tell people there was a campaign a while back that was called Look Up. And the basis of it is that we're so tied to our phones, we don't see everything going around, that if we only take the time to look up, we can have opportunity. Always encourage people to look up instead of looking down.
Yeah, I know. Like, you're right. The whole joke of everybody always saying like, "Oh, in an elevator, everybody immediately looks down at their phone," and that is really sad that eye contact and communications kind of looks like becoming more deficient in our society because of things like that. But very well said, Billy. Look up. I think that's definitely something that people should start doing, especially again, even at the gyms. When I'm I'm sure you see it all the time. People working out and exercising, they can't go one set without having to look 5 minutes at their phone in between each set. And it's just like, gosh, that's a waste of time.
True in any activity, whether you're at the gym. It amazes me. I see people walking their pets and they're on the phone the whole time instead of enjoying the walk with their dog. And that doesn't mean you can't ever, but consistently, I see people, whatever we're engaged in, people go to the movie theaters and they're on their phones right before the movie starts, sometimes during the movie. Disengage from your phone, folks. There's a whole world out there.
Yeah, very good point, Billy. I mean, that I just wish there was some kind of universal rule where theaters wouldn't allow anybody to bring their phone, and that one really irritates me. That's part of the reason why I don't like to go to the movie theater and enjoy it anymore, just because, like you just said, invariably there's always somebody in there on their phone, like during the movie, and it's just so. And of course, they're sitting like either right in front of you or right next to you, or you're distracted by it. But it's terrible.
Well, I just know that hopefully in time we'll figure it out. I just always continually encourage people. I think I need a T-shirt that says, instead of bump it up, sometimes I need to wear a T-shirt that just says look up. And they'll see it. I don't know, but you just keep hanging in there, and always believe in hope. So I'll keep plugging away and bumping it up, and I do believe once you do something nice for somebody else, they're going to go out and tell 5 people, 10 people, who knows how many people. And that's how I say you create the ripple effect. I'll always believe, regardless of the situations and the news that we see, I truly believe there are silent warriors that make sure that there's far more good that goes on in this world than bad. If we can only convince the news stations to start with the nice stories instead of the drama of the day, just to remind us from the top end, regardless of what's going on in the world, folks, there's a lot of goodness that's out there too.
Yeah, I like that, Billy. Wow, what a better place if we just started there. I can't echo your sentiments enough, because that's for sure very, very true with everything going on. But oh yeah, Billy, just keep it up with everything you're doing. And again, on that note, that's a great place for us to conclude. And I can't wait to get you back on here next month. And I hope the rest of your summer's going well. I know this summer is flying by, and everyone's talking about how this year's going by so fast. But last thing before we let you go, any weekend plans or any plans for the rest of, I guess, this weekend as we close out and get towards the end of this month?
I actually have family in town this weekend.
Fine.
So my brother and sister-in-law are in town, so we're doing different things with them.
Good.
In our mask, we're going out and about and checking out the aquarium. They've not been to that, and yeah, we're having a good weekend. I hope you and your family. I know you're staying busy with the new one.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, that is keeping us busy for sure. Well, thank you, Billy. Again, I can't thank you enough, and I really appreciate it. And as we close out and fade to black, here comes your website link on the screen, just in case. And we'll look forward to seeing you next month, Billy.
Thanks, Darren. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you.